What is going on, you guys? It's your boy Alex West Collects here, bringing you another figure review. And today we're taking a look at Fanaticos Legends of Lucha Libre by Boss Fight Studios. We have Ultimo Dragon. I actually found this at my local GameStop. I saw some people were finding them there. Someone had posted the item number. I'll put that in the description down below if you guys want to track them down. I gave that to my local store and they happened to have them, so I went there and picked them up. Actually did pre-order this from Amazon and it just never gave me an estimated delivery date, so I said, screw it, let me go to GameStop and I'll grab it. I believe it's $21.99 or something like that. Not too much. Again, I've never owned any Boss Fight Studios wrestling figures. I've been kicking the tires on whether to get that Juventud Guerrero. I know Ringside last Black Friday had him really cheap, but he wasn't quite, really in his WCW gear from how I remembered, so I passed on that figure. And again, I wasn't sure how this was going to stack up in my collection versus my Mattels and even my AW Jazzers, but Ultimo Dragon was one of my favorites as a kid growing up. I loved watching him in WCW. He'd put people in that Dragon Sleeper and put him to sleep, man. Just such a great toyetic character. So again, while I was on the fence because I didn't know how they'd compare, I said, let me give it a shot. This will be my first figure from Boss Fight. And again, we will compare them with other figures from different wrestling waves to see where he stacks up. And again, this is supposed to be their basic line. So obviously it's a little pricey for a basic figure at $20. You don't get any accessories, but it's going to be interesting to see what the accessories look like. You will see, you do get the image of Ultimo Dragon here on the front. Legends of Lucha Libre on the box. You get the nice kind of bubble carding here, as well as this nice nameplate. Flipping over to the back, you'll get the image of Ultimo Dragon, as well as some stats and the other figures in the wave. GameStop did actually have them all, but again, this is the only one I wanted, so enough chatting. I want to see what this figure is all about, and I'm sure you guys want to too. Alright, so here we have Ultimo Dragon out of the packaging, and again, this is more of the basic line from Boss Fight Studios. He does not come with any accessories at all, but the figure itself looks really nicely detailed. We're going to bring him in real close. Again, from his WCW days, I remember her wearing this kind of tealish blue outfit, so great choice for the attire. Again, I'm sure he's had so many toyetic attires throughout his career, but you can see he had the nice sculpting on the mask. Again, different color variations with the red and the blue and the gold. You got these kind of straps or whatever there are flares that are hanging out off of the mask here. Got this kind of red piece sculpted on there as well. Let's see how pliable it is, and it's got some movement to it. So this figure does look really good. He's got this kind of like shield on underneath. You can see the nice sculpted detail on there, and again, the paint application just look really clean. So while it's a basic figure, the details really are here. It's not like your Mattel basic where you're just getting, minor deco hits. Like, you get some nice sculpted pieces with it. We will obviously go through articulation, but let's continue on with the attire. You got these gauntlets as well. Look at the sculpting on that. The gold and the green with the red. He does come with an elbow pad here. They are single jointed elbows, if you guys can't see that. Take a look at this kind of belt he has here. It is free floating, so it does have a little movement to it. Some more sculpting on there as well. A little paint of gold, a little hint of gold on that. A little strap hanging off. Got the tie here on the side. Another gold kind of flare out here on the other side. And even look at these kind of like fins that are on his pants. It's a really nice figure, I'll be honest. It's just fun looking at it and all the little details that went into it. And just for the boots, it's just the plain black kickers. They look really nice. There is some sculpted detail on there, even with some more kind of fins sticking out, if you guys can see that. I'm really digging this figure, but let's see articulation-wise, right? Because I know a lot of people are saying, well, it's a basic figure, but obviously Mattel is upping their basics coming up soon, so just because it's a basic figure doesn't mean it doesn't have any articulation points. So the head fully rotates. The arm goes up about that much. It does fully rotate. There is no bicep cut. It is a single jointed elbow, if you guys can see that here. The hands do rotate. I think they're supposed to go up and down. They're a little stiff. Let's try this hand. Looks like there's a peg for it to go up and down a little bit. Yeah, there you go. We got a little movement on the hand as well. You do not have any of I guess you kind of have a little bit of a swivel, so there is a little more articulation there. There's nothing as far as like an ab crunch, but the waist does swivel, and it does have a little nice movement to it. You can see the legs do the splits about that much. That is really good. Single jointed knees. There is a boot cut. The boots do go up and down. It doesn't seem like, oh, there is even a rocker. That is pretty nice, man. So I know the term basic figure gets thrown out a lot, especially if you're like a WWE Mattel collector like to you that is like figures that have zero articulation, but this figure actually has a good amount of articulation. It does look really nice too. Look at this. Look at the details of this figure. This looks really nice, man. I am very happy with how this figure turned out. But let's jump to some comparisons and see how he scales with some other wrestling figures. And here we have quite a few different figures for some comparisons and scaling purposes. So I wanted to bring in Rey Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero from their WCW days, from their cruiserweight kind of battles, to see how they both stack up versus Ultimo. I think he's in decent scale. I know Boss Fights figures originally were a little small. I know they did make a Penta, and those figures look great, but when they finally came out, people got them in hand, they just look really tiny. So here is an AW Jazzwares Penta, and obviously the Jazzwares line is a little bigger than Mattel's. It's a little bit of a slightly taller scale, but Ultimo seems to stack up pretty well there as well. And if you guys want, we do have a Storm Collectibles Jushin Thunder Liger. Obviously, Storm figures are a little bigger. They're a little bulkier, so a little more size to it on that figure. But honestly, I think it's passable. He wasn't the biggest guy, and I feel like he really scales in well with a lot of these figures. And before we wrap up here with some final thoughts, while Ultimo Dragon is putting Rey Mysterio to sleep with a Dragon Sleeper, if you guys haven't already, please do me a favor, hit that like and subscribe button down below. If you guys are enjoying this video review, please make sure to turn on those notification bells to stay tuned to the newest action figure reviews here on my channel. As far as this figure goes, I get it. This is not going to be for everyone. This is a very specific figure. If you're like me and you grew up in around 96 through 98 era watching WCW, I think this is a must for your collection. The figure really is pretty fun. There is, some limited articulation, obviously with the single joints, but you really do get a good amount of movement for it. Again, Ultimo Dragon, I don't know if you're going to see another release of this. Maybe they do more of a premium line where he comes out with like a cape. That would be awesome. Or maybe some customizers who can kind of come up with like a cloth cape to throw on this figure would really put it over the top. But I know, I hope eventually we see a character like this in the Mattel line. I think that would be really fun, interchangeable hands and all these different pieces and entrance gear. I will say I tried to put on the Cruiserweight Championship belt on him. It didn't quite fit because of that sash, so I just wanted to mention that to you guys if you guys were going to throw that in your WCW display. But I say 100% go grab this figure if you are a fan. I think it's fun. I don't think you will be disappointed. Again, I did grab this at GameStop. I believe you can order it on Amazon or probably on Boss Fight Studio itself. But anyways, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video review. Please make sure to follow me on Instagram and TikTok at AlexWestCollects. I will catch you all on the next one.